I know, before you go down to the comment section and tell me GTA 6 had its reveal trailer 2 weeks ago, and we have somewhat of an expected release date being in 2025, and without any additional information, now I'm starting to talk about Red Dead Redemption 3. I get what it sounds like. It just sounds like we've been hyping up GTA 6 for this amount of time, only for it to finally be officially revealed with a trailer, and for me to instantly look way beyond that to the next game. But over the last few months, there's been quite a lot of speculation, quite a lot of leaks, quite a lot of rumors, even official information. So I wanted to bring it all together into this one video, and hopefully I won't need to follow up on this for quite some time, maybe until the release of GTA 6. So to begin with, there will likely be a Red Dead Redemption 3. This does come from a lot of speculation initially. Now we're starting to get a few leaks, but we've also had confirmation from Take-Two themselves. In an earnings report just a few months back, Take-Two said that Red Dead Redemption 2 was a commercial success, and as long as Rockstar keeps on producing games which are successful, they're going to continue expanding upon the franchise. Which is just a slight little nudge to say that there will be more games which are within the Red Dead Redemption universe, just like there is with the GTA universe. And considering Rockstar are working on their 6th iteration of GTA, it's likely that they're working on something else on the side, so that by the time GTA 6 does finally release, hopefully they stick to that 2025 timeline and it doesn't get delayed by too much. But by the time it does release in 2025, they can start to move team members over to a new title, which is already being pre-planned. And they can immediately start developing on those initial concepts. Just to give some more background to all of this and go more in depth with development, there's typically a load of overlap, especially with game companies at the size of Rockstar Games. So for example, Red Dead Redemption was released in 2010. At that exact same time, they were fully underway with production of GTA 5, which was released in 2013. But at the exact same time, after the release of Red Dead Redemption, they already started to put together a team that was working on Red Dead Redemption 2. This was more of the pre-planning phase. It was a small team, nothing too major, because development was fully underway for GTA 5. But once GTA 5 was released, that's when they started to move over various team members across to the production of Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's when we started to get news, leaks, speculation, all within 2015, 2016, until the full release in 2018. With 2018 release of Red Dead Redemption 2, we also started to find out that GTA 6 was in development. And back in 2014, they actually went over to Tokyo to see whether or not it would be a good location for a future GTA. And already just with those games, there's an incredible amount of overlap. So it's somewhat safe to say that even though GTA 6 has not been released as of yet, we do have an expected release date, but of course there could be delays. It's likely that Rockstar are working on something. What that is could be Red Dead Redemption 3, or it could be something completely different. Maybe even a Bully 2, which has had many reports of it starting, stopping, and who honestly knows at this point. But there needs to be something so that by the time it does get around to that time, those who are currently working on the big projects can start to move over and go elsewhere, because you do not need the amount of employees and team members that Rockstar have working on content after the release, because that's when it goes into the online content and it's not the same scope as delivering a full game. But with all of this, it's worth highlighting that that doesn't mean that GTA 6 releases within 2025, as long as there aren't any delays, and then in 2026, Red Dead Redemption 3 releases, or whatever IP that they're currently working on. Rockstar delivers amazing results on their single player experiences, and they take their time, rightfully so. And in this case, Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games, aren't going to push them. They know what they do works. They know that they're able to be insanely profitable, and they're not trying to release a certain amount of games within a time period. They are fully supportive of the process, and that's what helps deliver such amazing results. So yeah, release date, most are saying that's probably not going to be before 2030. We're not talking about something that's going to be releasing anytime soon. But with all of that, it hasn't stopped players talking about Red Dead Redemption 3, possible settings as well as story, because some of this actually comes from the desire and what people wanted back when Red Dead Redemption 2 was first released, which was single player DLC around specific characters. So with all of that, let's go through what people have been talking about. Firstly is the obvious one. Red Dead Redemption 3 focusing on Dutch, Hosea, John, and Arthur when they were much younger. This was the inception of the Van der Linde gang. And what will happen is that this is now another prequel where we end up finding the story of Dutch, Hosea, John, and Arthur, them meeting for the very first time, John leaving the gang, but then ultimately coming back, and then the various other gang members joining, including Micah, which will then take us up to the Blackwater Massacre. The Blackwater Massacre, of course, is a big event within Red Dead Redemption 2, but is never shown. We then follow the events from the Blackwater Massacre, which takes us all the way up to the beginning of Red Dead Redemption, and then of course we have Red Dead Redemption, which takes us all the way to the end of Dutch and the end of John. This will be a full story, complete for the Van der Linde gang from beginning all the way to end. There are a small group of people that want to see the other side of this, being the last ever cowboy, being Jack Marston, which would actually focus on his story being much later and will then take us into World War I. Jack Marston being the last outlaw of his time, and we do actually know a bit more information. There's been a lot of Easter eggs within GTA 5 and some of the DLC that they've released as part of online, which does mention Jack Marston and potentially turns into an author. So not too sure how that will turn out, but this is still something people have been talking about. There's also been a fan base which has been wanting specific type of characters, so not so much the core ones, but characters as part of the side which did really have a big impact. In fact, there's been 3 main ones that people have been talking about. Firstly, Landon Ricketts. Landon Ricketts was part of Red Dead Redemption and helped John with his Deadeye ability. Really cool character. The other 2 come from Red Dead Redemption 2, one being Charles Smith and the other one being Sadie Adler. Yet again, both of these were amazing characters and lasted the full length from beginning all the way to end. Both have very interesting stories. And the reason that people talk about both of these characters is because people really wanted DLCs around them. And both of their voice actors said that they would be very much up for the idea if Rockstar wanted to pursue DLC, but that never happened. But with everything that we've just mentioned, there's a large group that thinks it's way too obvious. The reason it worked well with Red Dead Redemption 2 is because it was a single prequel. No one expected Rockstar to take it into that direction, so that once it was first announced, well, it was a bit of a surprise more than anything. And it worked really well for the story. However, with this now already being the case, and having a lot of references both in Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 of how the gang first met, it's then just a case of putting pieces together. And some players are undecided of whether or not they want to leave what it currently is as is because they can piece together the timeline before, or whether or not they want Rockstar to deliver a game and experience on this. Because a lot of these people actually end up wanting it to be on a completely different gang and a completely different location, potentially at a different time, which then references the old gang and the things that they've been able to do in the past. Very similar to what Rockstar have been doing for the GTA series. We have different characters every single time, but there's a bit of crossover. Sometimes we get to see them as part of online DLCs, for example. Other times we get to just have references. Maybe Lester said something about another criminal out in a certain location, but we haven't heard back from him. Making subtle references about other characters, whether it be Claude, CJ, Nico, whoever it may be. Which gives this idea of this massive universe of a number of different things going on, but at that current moment, you're just focusing on these characters. But as said, with all of this, it is just fun to talk about. We're not gonna have a final answer for a very, very long time. Best case scenario, and this is best case scenario in terms of gaming news, not actually best case scenario for Rockstar, But maybe after GTA 6, there becomes another leak just a few years later, which then gives all information that we would potentially know about the upcoming game, if it is Red Dead Redemption 3. But that's best case scenario for news, not so much the actual final experience or for gaming as a whole. But that would be the earliest that we could possibly hear official information. Other than that, we're probably going to have to wait until 2030, maybe even beyond. But the reason with all of this and why people are so excited with the idea of this is simply because Rockstar create immersive worlds. People are addicted to the games in which they create. The single player experiences, there are literally nothing like it. I'm still a massive fan of Red Dead Redemption 2, and even though I don't play it religiously as much as what I used to, every now and then I want something such as a story and I'll go back through. And with that, I'm still finding new little references or hints or maybe Easter eggs, something that I didn't notice the very first time when playing through. That's the level that we're dealing with here. And that's why people are just addicted to know more, despite it being years away. So with all of that, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've shared what people have currently been talking about on a much larger scale, but if you have your very own opinions of what you would like to go and see or what you wouldn't want to go and see, let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking this video right here. This video goes through all the hype of GTA 6 building all the way until the trailer release. Click that and I'll be over there to guide you through absolutely everything. Thanks for watching.